Alright, it's that horrible time of year once again where I've got to go back to the video that I made 6 months ago about my 2023 AFL season predictions and to really see how far off I was. Every single year we get some absolutely cracking calls, but most of the time we get some absolutely horror calls, and I can guarantee you one in this video that I'm not looking forward to seeing. There'll probably be more than one. If you want to take a look to see how bad these predictions are, join me along for this ride. If you do enjoy, hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. Let's get into this. This ain't gonna be fun. It's the big one for the year. It's my 2023 AFL season and ladder predictions. You usually get about 100 comments on these videos, with over 75% of them being negative. So just remember, these are my opinions and my opinions only, and then go loosen the comments. Talking of comments, I actually do want to have a look to see if there were any, not arrogant, but people that were extremely far off. I'm now going to expose you people. I love how I think Essendon will make the finals and everyone else has them towards the bottom. Well, there's a reason everyone had them towards the bottom. Kev, great predictions, UCATT. Good luck for the season for your Dockers, mate. They are a good team. Nah. Jack, I don't feel as confident as a Freo fan. Just got that feeling without Lobb, Akers, Mundy, it'll be rough. Well, he's right. I think you're a bit optimistic on the Saints and what Ross will actually do. Well, they made finals, so I reckon I was alright. The Tigers can go even further than my prediction. I think I had them quite high, so you were a bit off with that one. So I thought Jackson can make an effective forward. One of them could, the other definitely couldn't. Hopefully the Suns can make the top 8. 2023 predictions are Cats. OMG, Essendon 17th, bro. They're 5th. You got it wrong. Essendon 17th? Ha ha ha, funny. Alright, well, a lot of you comments were making fun of me, and some for the right reason, the other for not the right reason. Alright, let's get into this. So let's start off with 18th, my Wooden Spooners. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. There have been quite a few different Wooden Spooners rolling around this year. I've gone with Greater Western Sydney. Not a surprise to anyone, he says. Oh, God. Well, of course, the Giants did not finish 18th. They finished 7th and lost a preliminary final to the minor premiers by 1 point. Look, I'm not the only one that said the Giants were going to be wooden spooners. I'll put a few up on screen right now on who else are victims of this. Look, I can't believe how well the Giants did this year. With everything going against them, a new coach, a young list, and I don't know what Adam Kingsley's going out of them, but it's just incredible. They'll rotate the young guys such as Finn Callaghan, Aaron Cadman, obviously the number one. Look, I was half right there. Callahan's easily a best 22 player. He's unreal. I love watching him play. Cadman, obviously, yeah, they did rotate him through. He didn't have a great first year. Now in 17th, you know, practice matches don't influence my opinion 9 times out of 10, but in this case, it's influenced my opinion quite a lot. I originally had this team at around the 15th to 16th mark, so not a massive drop-off, but I've relegated them to 17th in second bottom. Another horrid year for Essendon. Okay, Essendon finished 11th, so I'm a fair way off. So for comparison, North Melbourne finished 17th with 12 points, and Essendon at 11th had 44. So there was a big point gap. But Essendon towards the back end of the year were easily a bottom 4 side. Like, they were not very good at all. You've got some incredible talent there, such as Andy McGrath, Darcy Parish, Sam Draper, and Ben Bruggen. And then at 16th, Alistair Clarkson is no magician. He's not going to take the Roos to the finals in their first year. That's why I've got the Roos in 16th. Okay, well, they've got some fans. Obviously, I'm not far off. North finished 17th. I think I was a bit more optimistic on the Roos than I should have been. They were not very good this year. They finished tied bottom, and they finished 16 points off 16th and 17th. So, look, they were very lucky not to win the Wooden Spoon. They're just lucky they had this West Coast side in the same competition as them. In 15th, I can't believe they've made their way this high in my ladder predictions. I've got Hawthorn. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I've got Hawthorn 15th. They finished 16th, so just one position below. And they were 8 points off 15th, but they look so good. Some people are saying they're a final smoky for next year, which I disagree with. Like, I do rate Hawthorn, but I don't think they're at that level yet. I think they're going to make a slow and steady climb into that mid period of the bottom 10, maybe into a 12th or 13th position, which I think would be a great result for Sam Mitchell and the Hawks next year. Or a team that have got Sam Mitchell, a not very experienced head coach, but I thought he did a very good job last year. And last year, I predicted them as the team to jump up into potential finals contention. Yeah, I was a bit premature with my my finals prediction of Hawthorn. I predicted them to finish there in 2022, I believe. And I was a bit far off, but I did see the potential there for a little bit of a, you know, smoky vibe. Tom Mitchell has left for Collingwood. Jago O'Meara has left for Fremantle. Obviously, Tom Mitchell was vital for Collingwood this year, but I think you've got a guy like Jai Newcomb, who's younger. He stepped into that main mantle at the Hawks, and it was the right move for the time for Tom Mitchell and Hawthorn. And Jago Ramirez turned into a bang average player at the Dockers, I won't lie. In 14th, wow, it's the West Coast Eagles. Really? Yeah, I put the Eagles in 14th. They, of course, finished 18th. Look, the Dockers finished 14th, actually, not the Eagles. Jesus. So, the Dockers in 14th had 40 points. The Eagles in 18th had 12 points. So, there was a 28-point gap there. It's just awful. They were awful. It's probably... Mate, I mean, they compete with Fitzroy for the worst VFL, AFL side we've ever seen. They were absolutely abysmal. They were the first team since 2011 to get 200 points in the game. They lost to the Swans by 171 points. It went from bad to worse to catastrophic for the Eagles very, very quickly this year. They just had chains of 100-point defeats, and no one was even surprised. When there's a 100-point defeat, you should be surprised. You should be like, oh my god. But it wasn't even surprising. In 13th, I cannot believe they're this low. It's the Gold Coast Suns. You can't believe they're this low. Well, they finished lower. They finished in the bottom 4. It's another disappointing finish for the Suns in 15th. And, look... The Suns, if you predict the Suns anywhere from about 12th to 16th, you'll probably get it right or around the area. They're just mediocre every single year, and they had a good list this year. And there's just, I mean, I know the sack Stewart due halfway through. Can Dimmer get something out of them next year? Who knows? But they're a real interesting footy club. In 12th, I've got the Western Bulldogs. Now, okay, the Bulldogs finished 9th, and to be honest, they performed like a 9th place. In some areas, in some games, they perform like a 3rd place team. In other areas, they perform like a 15th place team. They finished 9th, which is probably the correct ladder position for them. But yeah, they are predicting them 12th. Pretty much right. I've got a little less optimism about the Bulldogs than the Suns, even though I had them higher. Now, the reason I have them higher is because the Bulldogs' core and depth is still stronger than Gold Coast, and they've probably added better than Gold Coast. They've got Rory Lobb from the Dockers, who's a fantastic marking target, and he's versatile, and there's been rumours he could go down back if need be. Well, Lobb got omitted a few times this year and made nowhere near the amount of impact they wanted him to, so absolutely, just deserved. Just quickly, I forgot to mention a massive Bulldogs recruit in Liam Jones. I think he'll be an absolute gun this year, coming back from his sidelining because of the COVID vaccine. So, yeah, big recruit. For God's sake, what's happened here? Well, moving on. In 11th, I've got St Kilda, probably higher than a lot of people. Okay, I had the Saints in 11th. They finished 6th. Mostly because of their first half of the year, which for some reason every year they seem to have a fantastic first half, and Ross Lyon got a lot out of them there. They only showed glimpses in the second half of the year and never really looked like a real final threat, but still a decent building block for the Saints to work on in the next few years. Well, as I've already said, everyone around this 7th to 13th region have around the same amount of wins. St Kilda, I feel like are going to have a really good season for the list that they have, and it's due to one reason, and that's due to their head coach, Ross Lyon. They've just reappointed him for the first time since 2011, when he left in 2012 to go to the Dockers, and Ross Lyon has a habit of getting his teams into finals very, very quickly, no matter how good or bad the list is. His most prominent example was Fremantle. He didn't have a good list. He had guys like Matt DeBoer, Paul Duffield, Adam McPhee, and they weren't... Okay, I'm going to quickly say... I can't believe I've just disrespected Paul Duffield. He was a gun. And Paul Duffield was a gun. Paul Duffield's not watching this video, but on the slight chance that he is, I am so sorry. Paul Duffield was crucial. Jack Steele in the engine room cannot be understated. He had his injury issue last year, but he's still an absolute gun. He was okay this year. Didn't get to the heights he probably never will because of that consistent injury cloud over him. But the Saints might add another big name in this off-season, and he might take the second mantle, and that might suit him better. But he's still a fantastic on-field leader when he can get out on the park. In 10th, I cannot believe I've gone this low. I think they're a much better team than this, but I've got Port Adelaide. Yeah, well, they are a much better team. They finished 3rd. Again, don't look like a finals threat. Out in straight sets again. It just seems to be the Port Adelaide way. But throughout that first half of the season, you couldn't split them or Collingwood, who's the best team of the comp. They were just so good, the power. But they've just got to go deep in finals. You can't just play 23 games in a regular season. You've actually got to get down to work in crunch time. In 9th, I think this is the team, if there's any team from the lower half of the ladder to boost into the top 8, it's this team. I just can't put them in the top 8 because I just can't find a spot for them. It's so competitive. It's the Adelaide Crows. So close, but what a shout. The Crows finished 10th. I put them 9th. What a shout. And they should be higher than that. They should be in the finals. Goal umpires absolutely robbed the club, the fans, and the players and the coaches of the final spot. Absolutely devastating. But what a year from Adelaide. I love the Crom. I love so many of their young players. Rochelle, Saligo, Silthorpe. You've got the maturity of Laird and Dawson. Oh, they're just, I really, really like the Crows. Little question mark next year, Tom Doedee. He's vital in that Crows backline. He'll be off to the Lions next year. Very, very interesting to see how that affects Adelaide down back. Coming into the top 8 in 8th. They're finally going to make finals, and somehow I couldn't find a high spot for them because I do think they'll have a good year. It's Carlton. The Blues are a good... Okay, Carlton finished 5th. I predicted them 8th. Not the worst call ever because they very well could finish 8th with their start, or the first half of the year that they had. But that second half of the year was absolutely unbelievable. You've never seen anything like it. They lost the prelim finals to the Lions after going 5-0 up in the first quarter. Yeah, what a year from the Blues. In 7th, I've got my club. I've got the Fremantle Dockers. The bad calls continue. The Dockers finished 14th, but I think we're better than 14th place side, and I think we'll probably finish around the 7th mark next year, to be honest. It's hard for me to put the Dockers this low, but I just think this is this low. Mate, wait until you see we narrowly miss out on bottom 4. Where we'll finish, I don't think the Dockers have gone worse, but I don't think they've gotten better. I think they've sort of stayed the same. I think the loss of Blake Acres is unbelievably big. Okay. Now, that's a good call, because a lot of people were saying Blake Acres, whatever, why do we need Blake Acres? I rated Blake Acres so highly last year, and I know a lot of Freo fans did as well, but I think that we were still understating the loss of Blake Acres. Our wings were completely and utterly fucked for most of the year. I'm so disappointed we lost Acres, and now we're going to lose Liam Henry. We're probably going to get Jeremy Sharp from the Gold Coast. There's a little winger roulette we've got going on. Ed Langdon went to Melbourne, Brad Hill went to St Kilda, Acres went to Carlton. They're all tearing it up. Can we just keep a top quality winger, please? Jago O'Meara from Hawthorn. He said he doesn't like to be compared to David Mundy, but there's a reason he's being compared to David Mundy. His silky smooth composure. He plays like a 35-year-old, but with the energy and aggression of a 27-year-old in his prime. He can burst through packs, but he's got the composure to slow the game down. And he's so silky smooth with the ball. If he can stay healthy all season, the Dockers engine room will be cooking alongside Caleb Sarong and Brownlow Fancy and Andrew Brayshaw. Will Brody, who still looks unbelievable. The back six... Will Brody played waffle all year. Will Brody played waffle all year. O'Meara had about 2 good games. Brayshaw was nowhere near the Brownlow. Oh my god. Fife has locked down the full forward slot with Luke Jackson. Nat Fife did not lock down the full forward slot, let's say that. In 6th, I've got Collingwood. It's a 4, but it's not a big 4. Okay, yeah, Collingwood obviously finished top. They won the flag. They were the best team all year. They were unbelievable. Shit call. In 5th position, I couldn't make a place for them in my top 4. It's so tight. I know we're going with Richmond. I'm not the only one. Some people had Richmond higher than 5th, which I feel lucky. But Richmond were nowhere near 5th. They were terrible this year. They had issues everywhere. It was rough. Just found a way to put them in the top 4. I've gone with the Sydney Swans. The Swans finished 8th, went out in an elimination final. Very, very inconsistent. Had a decent back end to the year, but they're still a young side. They'll build. And John Longmire, once again, just keeps the Swans there and abouts in finals, which is just a credit to his coaching. And look, they've just picked, as Dave recording this, they've just picked up James Jordan, so that's a fantastic pickup, and he'll only improve them. They're going to get Brodie Grundy. They could definitely finish top 4 next year, the Swans. In 3rd, I've got the Geelong Cats. I'm not saying they're not good. It gets worse. The Cats finished 12th. I got a lot of heat in 2022 for predicting the Cats in 12th. I was just a year late. Yeah, God, the Cats finished 12th. I predicted them 3rd. They were just nowhere near it. I'm not exactly sure why, but they be a premiership hangover, I guess. In 2nd place, the Brisbane Lions look scary. My first spot-on prediction. Yes, we've done it. Oh my god, my only spot-on prediction of the video. The Lions in 2nd. They did indeed finish 2nd. They lost the grand final by 4 points. What a team they were this year. And they'll be back up and about next year and over the years to come. Like, they're still not a completely old side. They're going to get Tom Doedee from Adelaide, which is going to strengthen their back line. For the soon retiring, guys like Ryan Lester, look, no doubts about the Lions. What a year they had, and they'll have another good year. The best, top 5 draft pick that we've ever seen in his first year. I'm going to put it out there. Okay, Dacos probably pipped him, but if he did win a flag, Ashcroft, I think I would have probably been right. He obviously missed a lot of this season with that devastating ACL injury, but like from what we saw, I think I still agree with that statement. He is one of the best we've ever seen. In first place, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, they had a disappointing year last year. It's Melbourne. They're the premiers of 2021, but... Okay, Melbourne, they finished 4th. They won like a premier tip. They went out in straight sets to Collingwood and Carlton. Yeah, another disappointing year. The Grundy experiment didn't work out. He's up to Sydney. And they've just got to reset next year and see what they can do, because they're still a top 4 side and they've just got to show it. That's 2 words, and that's Brody and Grundy. Unbelievable. I mean, what a pickup. To go alongside Max Gawn. What a ruck combination if Grundy stays healthy. And you could rotate Gawn down forward, who... Look, if Gawn wasn't a ruck, he'd be one of the best key forwards in the comp. If you can just keep rotating those 2 guys around the ground, probably the 2 best ruckmen around the ground in the league, to have that as a ruck combination is probably the best we've ever seen of a ruck combination in the history of the league. Oh, McLeod. Oh, my God. That is awful. Awful. The best we've ever seen in the history of the league, and Grundy's gone after a year. Alright, so it's awful. Alright, now let's move on to my grand final and awards. Okay, on to my grand final. I'm going a boring prediction. I'm going Melbourne versus Geelong, and I'm going... Okay, well, Melbourne went out in the straight sets and Geelong finished 12th. So in all my videos doing season predictions, I can truly say this is the worst grand final tip I've ever had. Melbourne to win the flag. Okay, well, I meant Melbourne to win the flag, and they obviously finished top 4, but when they're in straight sets, it's just not a very good prediction, I will say. But at least I didn't predict Freo. Teams like Brisbane, Geelong, Sydney, Freo can derail a few flags off the most. I'm just not even mentioning Collingwood. Like, it's just crazy how underrated I thought. Oh, God. Brownlow medal, give it to me. It's a bit of a shock. I don't like to go generic. I like to go with Richmond's Tim Taranto for the Brownlow medal. There you go. When Taranto was the Brownlow, and it's not the worst tip, he was a fancy. A lot of people found this interesting, but yeah, I went Taranto for the Brownlow, and he did not win the Brownlow. He finished on about 14 votes or something. Not the worst call, unique call, and I'm happy when I come reasonably close with a unique call. But it was obviously Lachie Neale, which, look, Lachie Neale, I really like him, but he wasn't the best player in the comp this year. Coleman medal, I'm going bold. I could very easily go with Jeremy Cameron, but I'm not. I'm going with Adelaide's Darcy Fogarty. And I'm so stupid. Darcy Fogarty, I love the Fog, but I think he missed a few games this year. He was in Tex Walker's shadow. Yeah, not a good call, the Fog. Rough one, that, eh? Rough one. I think him and Tex Walker will have a little break-off. I think Tex Walker will get the rough end of the stick. I think Tex Walker will retire. And I think that Darcy Fogarty will take the reins as one of the premier goal kickers in the competition. Stop! Let me stop! Who let me talk? I think Tex Walker will cut the rough end of the stick and he will retire. Tex Walker finished 1 goal off winning the Coleman. Fuck. Rising star, I'd love to go unique with like Harry Sheezel or something, or Ruben Gimby, but Harry Sheezel is... I call Harry Sheezel unique. Sheezel was actually a unique pick at the start of the year, and I should have just gone unique with Harry Sheezel like I did with Fogarty and Taranto. But no, I'm pretty sure I went with Ashcroft. Realistically, it's Will Ashcroft. I mean, he's clearly the best rookie, and unless he gets injured, I still think Ashcroft is the best rookie, but Sheezel was the best player this year, I won't lie. That was horrible. That was awful. Some of the worst calls you'll ever hear in there. If you want to hear more awful calls next year, then hit the subscribe button and like the video so you don't miss anything over the off season and into 2024. I'll see you all next time. Cheers.